I've been asked a lot recently about chronic coughing and how that can relate to acid reflux and hiatal hernia. And it is indeed related, and it can be very frustrating to be misdiagnosed with asthma or bronchitis, or you have allergies and it's really a postnasal drip when it's none of those things. So let's jump into what it can be and how it happens. You can have both acid, stomach acid, but also bile from your gallbladder, as well as pepsin can come up into your esophagus and lodge into your larynx, which is your voice box, and even permeate into your lungs, into your airways. And so when that happens, it triggers a reflexive cough. So you're coughing quite often, but you don't have the classic burn of acid reflux. And what I'm describing here is silent reflux, also known as LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflux. So your voice box, the back of your nose, and as I said, it can also go into the lungs. And so it's not that classic gush of acid, which is kind of more in the range of the heart, the mid to lower part of your esophagus. But this is acid that's in a smaller volume, it's believed, but then it really resides up here at the top of your throat, and it can be very irritating, creating a cough. So that's number one. Number two is what happens if you have a hiatal hernia, which if you have known acid reflux, you likely have a hiatal hernia. They really go together. That weakens your lower esophageal sphincter. So we just talked about the upper one in silent reflux being worsened and weakened, but with the hiatal hernia, you're weakening your lower esophageal sphincter. And so you get reflux when bending over, when lying down. And that reflux is also very irritating, and it can sensitize your cough reflex and lead to, again, persistent coughing. So there are two different mechanisms here. It's the classic reflux, more in the lower part of the esophagus, still initiating a cough reflex, or the LPR, the silent reflux, the silent reflux, which is also sensitizing but more up here. But they're still both resulting in coughing, so you have to distinguish which one it is. Now there's also what's called microaspiration, so just very small amounts that you're actually aspirating into your lungs of acid or bile, and that's inhaled again into the airway, and especially while you're sleeping. So this causes irritation and inflammation, because if you've ever even inhaled a little bit of liquid into your lungs, there's a pretty violent cough that occurs as a result. So you can get this chronic dry cough and again be misdiagnosed with, because it's very dry, hacking cough. You're not expectorating anything. It's not wet, so you can be diagnosed with a postnasal drip, or it's asthma, etc., and then being on medications that do not work because that's not the root cause. And then there's this catch-22 of, unfortunately, the cough that's being created by the acid reflux, whether it's classic acid reflux or the silent reflux. Equally, what coughing does is it increases your intra-abdominal pressure. And so that's the pressure that's pushed on the stomach and pushed on the diaphragm, aggravating reflux and aggravating a hiatal hernia. So that's where one is leading to the other, is leading to the other, is leading to the other. So you get caught in this catch-22 that you just have to break the cycle. So the symptoms are, as I said, a dry, hacking cough, especially if you're not coughing too much, but then after you eat, you start coughing, or after lying down, you start coughing. So that can be a clue that it's different from an asthma or a bronchitis or a postnasal drip. Of course, it's not improving with the medications you're being given because they're treating the wrong type of syndrome. You have also a lump in your throat sensation, which I hadn't mentioned yet. So you've got the hoarseness, you've got also throat clearing. People who are doing that a lot, that's pretty classic with this problem. And of course, the symptoms are also not only after eating and lying down, but worse at night and first thing in the morning, because especially with the LPR, the silent reflux, that acid has just been creeping up during the night. And so you have a lot of throat clearing in the morning. So those are the symptoms. We I talk a lot about reflux, hiatal hernia, and silent reflux on this channel. And the root cause is quite similar. What we have is this breaching of the normal dynamics of how the body is designed to work. Things are supposed to flow from your mouth down, and the pressure is from top down, top down, top down. The sphincters I talk about, the upper esophageal sphincter, the lower esophageal sphincter, the diaphragm itself acts as a sphincter or a valve, right? Just food and drink pass, close it off. Pressure down, push it down, push it down. Even the stomach has its own sphincter when the contents of the stomach are then going into the small intestine. Again, push it down, out of the stomach into the small intestine. I mentioned bile reflux earlier with the LPR, the silent reflux. That happens when these sphincters have weakened due to too much pressure, and now bile is going up into your stomach and then up into your esophagus. Wrong direction. So it's really all about where's the pressure coming from, where's the inflammation coming from. We also talk about the vagus nerve because there's a nervous system influence on these sphincters that is important. But it's really about you and how you got there. There are common threads. There are dietary threads. There are lifestyle threads. There are food sensitivity threads. There are dysbiosis threads, meaning the bacteria in your colon have gotten askew, meaning more inhospitable bacteria versus the good guys. So there's also toxins like mold and heavy metal. There's a lot of things that we just assess to see what makes sense for you, and then we tailor a program for you. And I know many of you ask and get frustrated with me, and I understand your frustration. I just want to tell you because you want that pat answer. It's like, well, what do I take? Do I take magnesium? Do I take vitamin D? What do I take? It's not that simple. And somebody said to me the other day, you know, other channels tell you what to do, and I do appreciate that. And I just have to be true to myself. I mean, our integrity as a clinic and as a team is utmost important to us, and therefore I will only tell you what is true. So I'm not going to give you some platitude and some band-aid that I know might work for 1 out of 100 of you. That's not fair, you know, because then when it doesn't work for you, you give up. And it's not that way. The truth of the matter is this is an area that's very treatable and very rewarding once you've treated it, because when you've optimized your gut function, you've gone a very, very long way to really enjoy amazing health. So that's why I do what I do. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to increase our subscribers so that more people can get this information and be empowered to make decisions about their health and have more knowledge and enjoy what great health brings. It's a beautiful thing. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. I do read all my comments, and which is actually what prompted this video. And we'll talk soon.